So the next AEP, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to cross-sell those. I've already cross-sold. Mm-hmm. That next AEP cross-sold 368 additional products, 368 to the same clients that we'd already cross-sold in the previous two. Not all of them cross-sold, but already discussed it with them.
Right.
368 additional products just by bringing it up again. And so it made me realize that never miss an opportunity to let people know what you do. Never miss an opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook. Dallas Keithley in here today, and man, we have made a major upgrade on Matt. I know a lot of you guys are. We're going to see if he watches the podcast. Is what we're doing. But no, we had a request. I was recently at an event, one of Cody Askins' event. I think you've been to him, and a lady named Arletty came up to me. She's a great agent there in New York. She said, "Dallas, I want to hear more from Brian Askins." I said, well, what do you want to hear about? She said, how does he prepare for AEP? And I said, you know what? I think he could knock that one out. So here we are, Brian Askins, CEO of Lasting Mark. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Dallas. Appreciate it. I always love being on the show and absolutely love the show.
Appreciate
the opportunity.
This could make or break Arletty's year. So we've got some work to do here. I do want to jump right in. First, though, before we get into that, man, we've been doing some training days on the road, Matt and I have. We're coming to Salt Lake City. I believe this will air right before Salt Lake City. So that's going to be in August. Go to our website, MedicareSalesPlaybook.com, to see our training days, where we'll be, when we'll be there. And we would love to meet you guys. This is fun, but man, I like being out on the road and meeting people. So let's dive right in, Brian. I know a lot of times, I'm going to kick it off this way. AEP is big, right? But I think there's also a false, people think about AEP in the wrong way. They think it's time to go out and get new clients, right? You kind of view AEP differently. Like, how do you look at AEP? Is it more about getting clients or retaining clients and then meeting referrals?
It's all the above. But the big thing about AEP, I think of AEP as a Super Bowl. But those teams that are in the Super Bowl, they didn't just show up the week before and then the Super Bowl.
Right.
They showed up in spring training, went through the regular season, and then the playoffs, and then they got a chance to play in the Super Bowl. And so I think the biggest misconception about AEP is it starts in October. AEP really doesn't start in October. AEP really starts in July. What you do in July, August, September, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some of those things. That's where it really starts, is because it's all about the prep. Because the more you come in and you're prepared for AEP, just the more success you're going to have.
Yeah.
And so it's truly, it's all about how prepared you are coming into AEP, of how successful you have an opportunity to be. But to answer your specific question, you want to protect your clients, your existing clients. And so I think we're going to hopefully walk through how to protect those existing clients. Number two, how to gain new clients. And then number three, of how to make sure that every client we run into, that we have an opportunity to sit in front of, knows every product and service we offer. We may not have an opportunity to do those presentations then, but January, February, March, we're not as busy. Those are great times to go back and discuss those opportunities that presented themselves during AEP.
I love that. And I love the Super Bowl analogy. You know, by the time, well, I remember 1996, just like it was yesterday. By the time, we're going to talk about the greatest football team to ever walk the face of the planet. By the time they got to the Super Bowl, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Leon Lett, all those guys, everything they did was muscle memory by then. Because every play, they had ran it 5,000 times already coming up to this. So it wasn't like, oh crap, it's the Super Bowl. You know, where's my uniform? Where's my shirt? Where's my shoes? They were ready to rock.
Absolutely.
Right? So, okay, let's start there. How do you prepare? I know when you get to AEP, you're not wondering what you're going to do today. No. Your calendar's full already, right?
Absolutely. And so one of the things is that you can start meeting with clients beginning October 1st. So October 1st to October 14th is 14 days of true spring training, of playoffs, whatever you want to call it, whatever analogy you want to use. That's true playoff time period to where you can meet with clients. You can't write business during that time, but you can get everything prepped. You can get a lot of meetings knocked out of a lot of your existing clients. You can do a complete review on them during that time period. And then a lot of them may need to stay on the same plan, most likely, hopefully. October 15th and beyond, October 15th, 16th, you can jump back in there and get those individuals enrolled into the new plans if that's a better plan for them. But it is so important to be prepped before AEP starts. The biggest mistake people make is waiting till October to really start anything. And right now we're in the middle of July. If they've not already started, they're kind of already behind a little bit. I truly believe that. You ought to be prepping there and already prepping. So the elite agents already have their calendars full for at least the first, I'm going to say 6 weeks, starting October 1st to mid-November. Already their calendar's pretty full with all the existing clients and so forth. So we could talk about just kind of tell me what you want to talk about, but talk about how do they get those meetings and.
Well, yeah, and so it's July now, right? And you're saying they're already behind if they're not preparing. Give me some action items. What should I be doing right now in July to prepare for AEP?
That's the question I was hoping you'd ask.
Yeah, specifics. Yeah,
that really was a question. So right now is a time period that we have a letter that's going out to every client that we have. And that letter is letting people know that AEP is coming, to call in and schedule their appointments. It's giving them links to click on. It's giving them multiple options of ways to schedule on our calendars because the calendars fill up fast. And we want to make sure that every agent, now you got to understand, and everybody in the business that's been in the business for any time at all understands this, it's a very competitive marketplace. If you're not protecting, if you're only going after new business, you're not protecting, you got people running out the back doors, you're bringing them in the front door. And that's not a good business model. Close the back door, protect those clients, and open the front door, and get some more people in there with in your home in your book of business. So send out a letter to every single client that you have, and then do a second round of letters. Do that letter in mid-July. Do a second round of letters in mid-August, and then in mid-September. Do a third action item, which is calling anybody who did not respond. You're just making connection points to where you're letting them know that their business is important to you. They matter to you. You truly care about making sure that you review their plans for the upcoming year. Now, and the larger you get, the harder that is. But that's where you got to have other assistants and
I was going to say
LOAs, et cetera.
Yeah. You're not sending these letters out right now as yourself, right? Like you have assistants that are doing that and stuff like that. And I've heard you speak and talk about the importance of delegating some of that stuff so that you can continue, bills are still due in August, September, right?
Correct.
So we still got to be, I heard you say something here a while back. You said your current clients, and you kind of addressed it there, are your greatest asset.
No question.
What do you mean by that?
So your current clients already have their trust, and the current clients are individuals to where hopefully you should be cross-selling at least 90% of your current book of business, and because you've already built that trust with them, you've already shown them that you brought immense value to them. So when you're in front of an existing client, the biggest mistake that people make is they'll go in and sell the Medicare Supplement, the Medicare Advantage, whatever it may be, but they forget to tell the people about all the different things they do. So like during AEP is a very busy time. A lot of times the meetings are 30 minutes. And so what I'm doing during AEP, every client we have, they already know all the product service offer, but I'm still bringing it up every time I meet with them again anyway. And still bringing up the hospital indemnity plan, still bringing up the dental vision hearing, the cancer extra, whatever it may be, the annuities, the life insurance, et cetera, long-term care, et cetera. I'm bringing all those up. If they show any interest, what I'm doing at that point in time, on the spot, I'm saying, hey, let's do this. Let's take care of your Medicare today. Let's make sure you're in the right plan. But let's schedule a meeting in January or February, whenever it be. And I'm scheduling those meetings on the spot for a review of all the other practice services in that meeting. Because now, not only am I busy in October, November, and the first week of December, now I'm busy in January, February, March. and got multiple clients. You want to talk about driving revenue, massive revenue. You do it that way and you start driving massive revenue. Scheduling appointments, future sales appointments at the review.
That's big. And a couple things I don't want people to miss something there. You said, even though you've already used the cross-selling sheet, which we've talked about 100%. On this show 50,000 times. If you don't know what the cross-selling sheet is, welcome to your first show, because I know we mentioned it last show, right? If you want the cross-selling sheet, reach out to me. We'll get you the cross-selling sheet that Brian uses. But you said, even though they've seen it many times, I'm going to do it again.
Every time.
Are you afraid of them saying, Brian, I've already seen this?
Not a chance.
And why every time? Because things change, right?
Things change. And the thing about it is that every time I've got notes about every client, what they've said the previous. So, maybe last time I saw some interest in long-term care, and I'm just using that as my example here, that I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Prospect, I know last time we talked a little bit about long-term care. I'm assuming you've not taken care of that problem yet, right? Hey, hospital indemnity plans, hey, this year the dental, we went from 2,000 down to 500 dental on your plan. I want to show you an option that would add additional dental and to get you back to the $2,000 that you had previously. They may have had somebody in their family be diagnosed with cancer, a loved one. There's always life changes. People, you'll be surprised. I'll tell you, and this is not a funny story, it's a true story, but it's a reality story. It's more than anything. And this happened about 3 years ago. We had sold we do a ton of cross-selling. You know that. More than 90% of my clients have additional products. Way more than 90%. It's probably closer to 96, 97%. I'm going to say 90% just to be on the safe side. So the next AEP, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to cross-sell those. I've already cross-sold. That next AEP cross-sold 368 additional products. 368 to the same clients that we'd already cross-sold in the previous two. Not all of them cross-sold, but already discussed it with them.
Right.
368 additional products just by bringing it up again. And so it made me realize that never miss an opportunity to let people know what you do. Never miss that opportunity.
Right. You never know when they have just placed their mom and dad into a home. Now it's way important to them. They've realized the cost. I had a thought here. A lot of times we sit down and we say, okay, I'm going to write this client MAPD, a hospital indemnity plan. I'm going to get some annuity. I'm going to do some life insurance, long-term care, all that stuff. And if we present that all at one time, they're going to be like, well, I can't do any of that, right? That's just too, like my first car was a 1988, I think, Mercury Sable. It's not the car I wanted, but it was the car that would get me from A to B. Now, as I've grown up and got a little more money, I'm getting closer to the car that I want, right? But you do it a little bit at a time. You don't just go buy the Lamborghini year one. A lot of our clients, let's take care of what concerns you now. Then the next time you come in, just a bite at a time. And man, I would love to go back and look at yours and see from the moment you wrote the first policy you ever wrote on a person till today, how often you've added something every year, just making
added,
sure
upgraded. Referrals. I tell you, the crazy thing is that, and people are going to disagree with what I'm about to say, and that's okay. That
they have the right to be wrong.
Yeah, and it's one of the great things about this business. There's so many different ways to make money, but there's so many also other different ways to get in front of people, and that's what I love about this business. It's not a cookie cutter. There's not one way.
Right.
McDonald's. They make a hamburger one way. They don't deviate from that. I don't care which franchise you're in. What I love about this business is people can do it their way. Okay, they can do it their way. So, like with referrals, I have never asked for a referral in my entire life.
Yeah. Okay. And here's the thing.
But I'm going to explain. Go ahead.
Yeah. The way I learned Medicare was by riding around with you for 2 years, basically a year and a half, 2 years. I remember maybe our 6th, 7th, 8th appointment. I asked you, Brian, how do you get referrals? Because as we're driving in the car from one appointment to another, you've got 3 voicemails and 2 text messages, and all of them have referrals. And I'm like, Brian, I don't know who you sold your soul to, but give them my number because, man, you just get referrals like crazy. And then you say something like, I never asked for referrals.
I don't. I never ask for referrals. What I do is my goal is to bring so much value in that appointment. And so then what I say is, hey, Mr. Prospect, if I can ever help anybody else that you ever know, I'd love the opportunity. And that's what I say. And then all of a sudden, because I've went above and beyond in everything that we've done, I've went overboard. I'd never say, hey, Mr. Prospect, who are 2 people that you can refer me to? I don't do that because that puts up the defense with them. You know, hey, let's get out your phone book or your phone and my phone and let's see if, you know, those type conversations. I just simply say, I hope you found value in today's meeting. And they always say yes, 100% say yes, found immense value. Hey, if there's anybody you know I can help, I'd love the opportunity, and leave it at that.
Yeah. Value, action happens when value is perceived. And so when you add enough value, then man, they're going to, and one other thing too, that I learned from watching you is, you know, if I go in, you do a lot of things I've joked with you before, you do a lot of things that don't get you paid.
A lot.
Right.
But they do on the back end. But
right. Yeah. Like you're not going to get a check because you helped Bob find his dentist, or you helped Carol figure out how to fill her oxygen tank, or you helped, Mike
enroll in Medicare, enroll in Social Security,
or enroll in Easy Pay with Medicare, whatever.
Enroll in Social Security, you know.
But the other thing about that is people like to give referrals when they have value. But if I just help you with one product, if I just say, here's your MAPD, right? God be with you, and I walk out the door. In order for them to tell somebody else about me, the subject of MAPD has to come up. But if I help them with 5 or 6 different things, and then they go to McDonald's the next morning to have their coffee, and Bob across goes, man, I got to find a new dentist. They're like, oh, you got to call my guy, Brian. Brian helped me find a new dentist because mine doesn't take my plan anymore. It's just giving yourself more opportunity, the more value you add.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, love that.
But Dallas, one thing I'm going to go back to, they need to make sure they reach out to every existing client. Your like you already said, you said it earlier, your current clients are your greatest asset. And so don't just be in the replacement game, replacing new with existing. Don't be in that game. Be in the addition game, be in the multiplication game, not the replacement game, and to where you're subtracting. Too many agents spend their time and energy chasing new people, and they're not protecting their existing one. You can do both, and you can do both very, very, very well. Ask for, make sure that you're letting them know the product and services you offer at every appointment. Make sure that they're getting massive value, and then the referrals will just flow in. You won't never have to worry about where your next client's coming from. This right here is so huge. Know your products. Know your products. I cannot tell you, Dallas, how many times I've seen agents in front of clients, and they're going to enroll somebody in a hospital indemnity plan or a dental plan or whatever, or even a Medicare Advantage, and they don't know how to get on their username and password is not working. You ever?
Yeah.
The username's
I've been there. Yeah.
Their username's not working. They forgot their password. They're locked out, and now they're making phone calls. The client's sitting right there. Make sure every username and password is set. Make sure you have a sheet of all username and passwords in case somehow something happens. You get logged out and you got to log back in. Have that sheet handy. Have it laminated with you. Yeah. Put the notes in your phone. Something to where you don't have to call somebody and say, "Hey, what's my password for this account?" Or know how to enroll people. There's nothing that loses confidence more when the sell is done and it's enrollment time and you can't figure out how to do it.
Yeah. Imagine a preacher standing up and getting ready to preach, and he has to go to the little glossary in the front of his Bible to find 2 Timothy. And he's like, oh yeah, page 395, right? That's how a lot of us look a lot of times. Is we're the professional. We're there to sell. And then we're like, okay, hold on. I've got to figure out, oh shoot, this is I can't get into my, and Dallas, how would you feel about the other product?
I know we're joking on this.
Yeah, it happens but all the time.
There's going to be thousands of people that watch this show. It's going to happen to this year, and they're going to be unprepared.
Yeah.
You got to go in prepared. The more that the clients see that you have your stuff together, you know your products, you know how to log into the systems. I'm telling you how to log into provider networks, how to find a doctor, how to find a dentist, you've got to know those things because when you're searching for a dentist and you don't know how to get to the dental search,
yeah,
you lose confidence.
Exactly.
The same. That prevents that future referral. And you say, "Well, client understand." Well, I'm not saying they won't understand.
Yeah, and
but you're not building massive confidence in that either.
And things are going to happen, right? Like, you're going to go to a portal and their site's going to be down every once in a while, or something's going to happen. But yes, there's a difference between every once in a while something happens and man, I can't even remember. I forgot to bring my power cord for my computer. And so now, I've done it all.
but master your technology.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than when you're fumbling through the software, you're trying to figure things out. It's kind of what we're saying here, but technology should make you look professional, not the other direction.
Make you look old.
Not the other direction.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Practice your enrollment platform. No, you said something there. I'm going to go back to it real quick. You said we're living in the glory days for a second. The 96 Cowboys, 95 Cowboys.
Now. Yeah, 95, 96. Yeah.
When we beat Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was good.
And it was beautiful. And
can we just have a moment of silence?
It's a lot of years ago, but
30
anyway.
years.
It's a long time. So that was back in the 95 season, 96 Super Bowl. And you made a great comment. You said they already knew how to run all the plays. They didn't have to, they had some run throughs.
Right.
But it was repetition. They were just making sure that everybody's on the same page again. That's all this is repetition. And when you go in and you're not prepared, I'm telling you, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Well, and you look at some of the biggest games ever lost. It wasn't because of some major, it was a little blunder. A little blunder here, a little ball between the legs by Bill Buckner, right?
Yeah.
Just a little
drop snap by
Tony
Romo.
Yeah. Let's move on. You talked about, okay, let's go into this. In our last show, I believe, I'm not sure when it'll air, but in one of the shows we just did, we talked about systems. And there's a book you gave me a long time ago, The System is the Solution, right? Routine. I think one of the biggest problems with this industry is people are full of just emotion and motivation. And man, I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
Yes.
And you ask them, what are you doing Tuesday at 10 o'clock? And they're like, I don't know. I'm going to show up and boy, I hope my uncle needs Medicare or something like that. You have a system, you have a routine, right, for every day of AEP.
Absolutely. Always remember discipline beats motivation. And so every AP, during AP, there's got to be structure. Everything in your life needs structure, especially your work life, your business life, the what pays the bills. It's not I'm not motivated by money. Money is one of my least motivating factors. I'm motivated by what money can do, for me and my family. I'm motivated by money, how it can change my life and how it can change my family's life. It's not the money that I'm motivated by. It's the things that it can do. And so, but you have to it's all about discipline. And you got to go into AEP really well prepared. And what I mean by that is, one thing we need to remember is AEP, it's a marathon disguised as a sprint.
Yeah.
Think about that.
It is.
It truly is. It's a marathon. You got to make sure you sleep well during AEP. You got to make sure that you eat well. It makes during AEP, a lot of times we're not getting a chance to stop for lunches too much.
Right.
We're not getting a chance to have a real good meal. Make sure that your meals are you're prepared. Whatever you're going to eat that day. If you're taking a protein bar with you, I know how you like the beef jerkies and
beef jerky and protein, man.
Protein, things, things like that that'll get you through the day and get you in a good way. And you can't be exhausted by November 1st.
Right. Yeah.
It's a marathon disguised as a sprint. So.
Yeah. So keeping your energy up, protecting that schedule. What is your mindset? Because I believe that your mindset will determine your outcome. If I look at my mindset today as just survive, just like you get out of bed and you're like, man, like you tell your bed, I'll be back. I can't wait to get back in bed, right?
Right.
You're just surviving. Growth is not going to happen with survival, right? So how do you prepare a mindset of when I get done with AEP, this is what I want it to look like?
Have a growth mindset going into it. And what I mean by that is some appointments won't go our way. Some appointments, they already have an agent, they're going to keep their agent, and that's fine. So a new person you might meet, and that's fine. So you can't get them all. We want them all, but you can't get them all. And you'll lose some sales to another agent, and those happen. You want to do all you can to prevent that, but some will stay with another agent. But the thing about it is you got to move on quickly. There's not time to dwell on those type things. And the best producers don't dwell on losses. They're celebrating wins. And so that's what we're looking to do, is focus on the next opportunity. What is next, and what that opportunity might look like that goes next. So
yeah. I heard Jordan Belfort say one time, and I really like this. He said, a lot of people say, well, if I go into a home, the sale will be made. He said, that's the wrong mindset, because there's sometimes there is no sale to make.
There's no need.
They are in the right place.
Yeah.
Our mindset needs to be, can I put this person in a better position? If I can't, and two, you've been in this business 30, what now? 30,
almost 37 years.
37 years. You don't make a lot of friends by just going out and replacing business of every agent out there. If you go into a home and they know their agent, they're got his card and they're like, oh, he's meeting with me next week. I don't know about you, but I'm probably not going to replace that policy. They've got somebody, right?
There's certain agents, and some of these are not with our agency. I would never place one within our agency, but I've got some friends out there that are with different agencies. I don't replace their business,
Yeah.
And they don't replace mine. It's.
Now, there's other people we look for their business. I'm just
there's
kidding.
some that I'll do it every time. There's some.
You walk in, you're like, all right, we got this one. Yeah. Now, you talked about the importance of a team, leveraging your team. I think that's why I like basketball, right? But I love watching football and baseball, because in basketball, it seems like one guy can make more of a difference. Like Jordan, we won't mention the other guy, but Jordan took some pretty bad teams to the finals. Baseball, basketball, it's harder, because yes, you may have one dynamic player, but he ain't winning the Super Bowl by himself. Talk about the importance of the team and the team that you put around you.
Yeah, so you use great terminology to leverage your team, and that's, you truly, truly have to do that. One of the biggest mistakes I see agents make is they try to do everything themselves. And no one's ever built something truly special alone. It's never happened, and I don't believe it ever will. I think that you have to surround yourself with great people. So use your support staff. I'm telling you, your support staff is it's one of your most valuable assets that you'll ever have, is your support staff. And I could talk about that all day long, but the support staff. Use your uplines. Your uplines are, if you have questions, call in. Your uplines will help you. Use your uplines, the tools, the resource, the training, the support that they have. And a lot of uplines have some great programs, some not so great, but some do. Some have really, really good. Ask questions, lean on people that want to see you succeed. There is, what I mean by that is that if you have an upline, for as far as like someone between you and the FMO, use that person, but successful people simply don't do it alone. Make sure everybody knows a role going into it. So if you have a staff, every person needs to know exactly what their role is going into it. You don't need to get to October and trying to figure out, okay, you're doing this part, I'm doing this part, you're going to do this part. Wrong time. Wrong time. That should be done back in July, And so who's doing what roles? So it is a well-oiled machine.
Well, and there are some people out there, because I get approached all the time saying, when do I hire? I think it's right now. If you're looking to have somebody by AEP, you don't hire them.
Very much so.
Yeah, you need to hire right now, because they need to be as prepared as you do. You don't want to be training someone in October.
Right.
They need to be prepared. One more question when it comes to your team. So as an agent, I understand how I can get motivated. I know that if I write 200 policies during AEP, I'm going to have a nice paycheck in January, right? Some of my hourly staff, their pay isn't going to go up or down based on how many we produce. Now, maybe there's bonuses or whatever, right? How do you, because they got to work harder too during AEP. Like, I know in your agency, it's kind of a known thing. You don't take off during
all hands
October.
on deck.
Yeah, everybody's got to work hard. How do you get them to buy in and want to see you succeed?
I tell you, when people feel ownership in a role, that's when they truly excel and they succeed. And what I mean by that is, like, we have Leslie here. I'm using Leslie. She's just tremendous. It's so funny. The clients come in and they love her. And but every meeting I do, if it's a new client, I'm bringing Leslie back, or Mike or whomever is doing it, is bringing Leslie back and introducing Leslie to the client on the front end. And, hey, Mr. Prospect, hey, I want to introduce you to Leslie. If you ever need find out if you ever want to change dentists, or you want to look at a new eye doctor, just call Leslie. She can give you a complete list. She can help you if you ever have need to add a prescription, whatever it is, Leslie's the one that can help you. And so you're making that pass off at that time that Leslie's the service person. And it's so funny when clients come in, I'm the one that sold them the plan. They're hugging Leslie, they're hugging her, and they're bringing her, all the gifts and all that, because she's the one that's helping them on that service. And I love it. I wouldn't want to change it at all, because she is just going above and beyond. And she is helping us get more referrals because of the work she does that she does. So,
yeah. And I think a lot of people have the problem of, well, my clients can only talk to me.
Oh.
Well, then you have just set a cap on, because there's only so many hours in a day, you've set a cap on your production, right? So, a lot of people out there, they're scared to get out there. Like, man, what do I do? How do I get it? Go out there and just try. You used a phrase on a training we just had the other day, swing the bat, right? Get up there and don't be afraid to strike out. Get up and swing the bat. Tell us what you mean by that.
So so when you go to the plate, if you're in a baseball game, we use a baseball analogy. Obviously, you and I both love baseball and football, and go to the plate. If you left your bat on the shoulder, or your bat on your shoulder, you could draw a walk, but that's the only way you're getting on base. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if the pitcher's throwing strike after strike after strike, after 3 pitches, you're going back to the dugout. So I don't care if you close your eyes when you swing. If you just simply swing the bat, something good could happen. Something good.
Close your eyes and swing away, baby.
It's something good could happen.
Yeah.
And the crazy analogy is, Babe Ruth struck out, I don't know, 1,300 times, I believe it was, something like that.
Yeah.
1,300 times. Where you're thinking,
what a loser.
What a loser.
Yeah.
Well, he hit 700 home runs, or whatever the number was. 700 home runs. He's in the Hall of Fame,
right,
and considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time, if not the greatest baseball player of all time. He swung the bat.
Yeah.
Did he strike out? Yeah, he struck out twice as many times as he hit home runs.
Yeah.
For every 2 strikeouts, hit a home run.
In the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because he swung the bat. So he went to the plate. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, the big challenge I'd give people is contact every client right now and through email, whatever that form, your form of communication is, mail, phone calls, whatever it is. Set up the appointments. Get those prepared. Bring massive value to those individuals. Know your cross-selling system going into it. Know how you're going to present your other product and services you offer. Cross-selling sheet's the best way, I think, but there could be something else that works really well too. Set appointments in January. Know your software, your websites, everything that you need to get access to. Know those going in. Be prepared in case something goes south. You got the username, you got the password. You're ready to roll. Make sure you have. I didn't even think about that, but have your charger with you. If you're working off an iPad or a computer, whatever.
That one came from experience.
So just go in. Is there something that's going to go wrong? Probably.
Right. Yeah.
But be prepared as you possibly can be on the front end. Everybody needs to know the roles and responsibilities.
So I love that, man. Giving us a lot of good stuff here. One of the quotes that I have here in the notes that you put in, AEP isn't one in October, it's one every single day. It starts today.
Absolutely.
It's one every day. I'll close with this. Matt and I just talked about, if you're going to build a system, the key thing is to have a great mentor, right? Mm-hmm. I am looking for a mentor that's consistent, right? They're working every day. A lot of Medicare agents just say, okay, I'm going to work in AEP. I'll just work in AEP. That may be how you build a quick paycheck, but it is not how you build a consistent long-term business. As somebody that's been in the business 37 years, if you've got a new agent sitting right here, what are you telling them? Okay, start here. Start today. What is that message to them?
So I'll go back to, and there's a lot of different things I could say. I'm going to go back to keep it real simple. So my daughter got in the business 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And she came to me and said, Dad, what should I do? And it was very simple to me. I said, Medicare seminars. And she said, should I buy a lead? And she started naming all these. I said, Medicare seminars. Don't spend another penny outside of Medicare seminars. Spend 100% of anything that you're going to budget on Medicare seminars. And so she did that. And then I said, but there's a 3-step process here. Number 1 is Medicare seminars. Number 2 is learn to cross-sell, okay? And make sure you have a system in place. Cross-sell should not be a hope and a dream. It should be a reality more than 90% of the time. It's presented 100%, but sometimes the need's not there. Sometimes it's dual plans. You're getting just that plan. And then the third thing is to learn to elevate. And we've talked about elevate in the past. We won't do it now for time's sake, but elevate to where it's the retirement appointment. And then the fourth, which is, I didn't put it as a fourth because it should be automatic, is with seminars and the referrals you get, you should have, your calendar should be full, constantly full. And so she's never spent a penny outside of that. First year she made $113,000. Second year made $306,000. Last year I think she made $494,000. This year it'll be $600,000 or whatever that number is. Maybe more than that. I don't know. But never spent a penny outside of that. But she gets as many referrals as she does people attending her seminars.
That's crazy. Good stuff. It's crazy how when they do what we say, it just works, right?
It does.
Good stuff. Well, Brian, thank you.
One thing I'll point out too is your time is so valuable during AEP. Have your staff be confirming every appointment the day before because you don't want a no-show. Somebody you could fill that gap. So anything you can think of that could go wrong, put it on paper. Get your staff together. Meet in a conference room. Your entire staff, get in a conference room. Walk through what a perfect AEP looks like. Walk through how we can make it as perfect as we possibly, make it as excellent as we possibly can. But confirming every appointment the day before is so valuable because you may have somebody you forgot. You may have something came up. You can fill that slot with somebody else. But you don't want missed appointments, not when it's truly game time.
Yeah, and one thing
win together.
I love that, and that's what I was getting ready to say. Your staff will never be more excited about something than you are.
Correct.
They will never be more passionate. They'll never learn more than you do. And I mean, that's called leadership, is just getting there and showing that excitement, showing that passion. So Arletti, you better have the best AEP you've ever had in your life because there was a lot of stuff there, right? The rest of you guys can listen to it and follow it too. Brian, thank you for being on. Great job as always, man. Appreciate that. Guys, look us up on all the socials, share, like. We would like some referrals. I'll ask for referrals, man. We would like some referrals. Tell people about us and come see us on one of our training days. Thanks again. We will talk to you next time on the Medicare Sales Playbook.